What's up, everyone? It's Michael here, aka Dangstrat. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Here is my weekly outlook for the Forex markets, indices, and the crypto market as well. So, starting off with dollar on the weekly time frame, you can see that after we took out that 2023 high for external range liquidity, we retraced last week into that weekly fair value gap, and now we started this week with a flat open. So, zooming in a little bit to the daily chart, I am expecting dollar to retrace a little bit more, potentially to this daily imbalance down here. So the main reason why I'm looking for dollar to retrace to those levels is because EU still has that untapped weekly fair value gap above. So if you go to the weekly chart here, you can see that we took out that 2023 low for external range liquidity. Now I'm looking for EU to retrace a little bit higher into that weekly fair value gap there. So from there, if we reach those levels, then I would potentially look for shorts. But for now, my idea for this week will be longs to start the week, looking for longs, and then if we reach that weekly fair value gap, then I will flip biases and then look for potential shorts from there. So going over to GU now. GU last week we were looking for a retracement into that weekly fair value gap, and you can see we rated that level, and now again same idea here. I would like to see GU retrace a little bit higher. I'm going to remove this for now. I'm looking for GU to take out the previous week's high and then raid this daily fair value gap here. And then from here, look for potential shorts. So for now, looking to start the week, looking for longs. And then if we get a reaction off of here, then I would be interested in shorts to target this imbalance below on the daily time frame. So simple outlook there for the Forex markets. Again, DXY took out a key external range high. So now looking for it to retrace a little bit more into this daily fair value gap there. We're currently in a weekly fair value gap, so we'll see how price starts the week. But with a flat open like that, I would like to see a raid on the previous week's low and into that daily fair value gap. So again, recapping EU, took out that 2023 low, now looking for a retracement to internal range liquidity, which is that weekly fair value gap there. And then for GU, looking for a retracement to the daily fair value gap here. Also, that daily fair value gap is inside that weekly fair value gap. So looking for a retracement there, and then from there, we'll see how price reacts, and then if we get a nice change of character for shorts, then we'll look to short down and target this daily fair value gap here for the short-term draw on liquidity. So that is my outlook for the Forex markets. Now going to move over to indices. Indices right now, last week we had a slow grind up as expected. With no news, or also last week was a short week as well, but we did make new all-time highs there on Friday, and again right now we'll take things day by day, but I am still bullish on the stock market and the indices market right now. So moving over to NQ. Again, NQ is lagging ES a little bit, but I am expecting for price to draw towards this high here early in the week, and then we'll see how things go from there. But I think we do eventually take out this new all-time high level and then go into price discovery mode. Now moving over to the crypto market. So here is my watch list. We have Bitcoin. The current range that I'm looking at is this weekly range here. Last week was an inside week, meaning we didn't take out the previous week's high or the previous week's high or the previous week's low. So for this week, we are closer to taking out that previous week's high. And again, if we take that level out, then expect price to go into price discovery mode there for Bitcoin. And now going over to Ethereum. Now Ethereum, we broke that range, the midpoint of the range. So I'm looking for price to continue higher towards the range high here. And then, we do have that 2021 high from the previous cycle. That will be the main objective. But for now, we have range high, range low. Here is your deviation of the range. If you go to that monthly chart, you can see that we've held this inverse fair value gap there for support. Closed last month very, very strong. So, we could expect some manipulation to start out this month. And, we got the open now of the new monthly time frame. Could expect some manipulation potentially down and retrace back into that midpoint of the range, and then from there look for higher prices. And again, that midpoint of the range would be where this daily fair value gap is for Ethereum. But overall, am looking for higher prices for Ethereum in the upcoming weeks and months. Still think we're in a bull cycle. Crypto market hasn't shown any signs of weakness yet, and if it does show signs of weakness, I do think it will just simply be a retracement, unless we see some big break of structure on the higher time frames. But for now, I'm bullish on Ethereum. Moving over to Solana. So Solana, we hit this all-time high level from the 2021 cycle, the previous cycle, and now we're consolidating a little bit. So, that price action is very normal. Once price hits a resistance level, you can expect it to reject it a few times. And if you're still bullish on it, then you would want to see some type of consolidation like this, and then blast through that level, and then look for that level to become the new support. So that is what I'm currently looking at for Solana. And now moving to Render. This is one of my favorite setups right now. Again, we have range high, range low. This is your deviation of the range. Took out liquidity here and then broke structure back to the upside there. And if you go to that weekly chart, we did form an imbalance here, and then also that weekly breaker. I don't expect price to retrace back into this level. I would like to see price just rip and continue higher, but you have to be open-minded of this level here, right around $7. If there were to be any big retracements in crypto, I would be looking for price to retrace here and then go higher. But I'm currently have been long on this, and I simply would like to see this hit the midpoint of the range, and then go from there, and potentially leave this as an unfilled gap for Render. Now moving over to SEI, and SEI, very similar setups. A lot of these setups that's on my watch list or positions that I'm in are very similar. You have your range high, range low, and then you got the deviation of the range, break of structure here on the weekly chart, retracement back into this weekly fair value gap, and then a nice push up from there. Now looking to target the midpoint of the range, and then also the range high. And now it's formed a weekly fair value gap here. So if we were to retrace, would like to see this weekly fair value gap hold, and then look for higher prices from there. So looking for something like this. So that is SEI. Now for Fetch AI. And again, similar setups to the previous ones I just discussed: range high, range low, deviation of the range. After this, we broke structure, reclaimed the range low, and that became support here. Now we got a nice push higher from off that range low. So again, now looking to target the midpoint of the range and then looking to target the range high. The next one is INJ. So previous all-time high from the previous cycle here. And I'll just remove this for now. This chart is very similar to the Bitcoin chart. So if you look at this here's your previous all-time high level. And then we went up, took that level out, consolidated all of 2024, and now you can see that the structure has changed there on the weekly time frame. So now looking to target this range high. So here's the range I'm currently looking at: range high, range low, deviation of the range low, reclaim, and then now pushing higher, targeting the midpoint and then the range high. So here's the weekly chart for INJ, and then if you look at this chart for Bitcoin, it looks the exact same, except that Bitcoin is obviously leading and is currently in price discovery mode, but INJ, I am looking for that to follow. So moving on to TVK. This one is a lower cap, and for this one, against range high, range low, deviation of the range low, reclaimed the range. Now we broke structure, and now you can see that we're trending higher here. So targeting midpoint and then range high. And then the final one that I will go over is Atom. So clear, range low, range high, deviation of the range. And then last week, after last week, we created that imbalance. So now looking for price to target the range, the midpoint of the range, and then the range high here. So that is the recap for crypto. And again, very bullish right now. I think we're in the. I think we're still very early in this cycle, but with this big run up like this, don't be surprised if we get retracements back into that 80K range on Bitcoin. But again, if we retrace, that is just more buying opportunity for me that I see. So that is it for today. I hope all is well, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.